to this video. Today I'm going to discuss about the top frameworks for agentic AI development. So you probably planning, you may be a developer or you may be an AI engineer and you're planning to implement an agentic application, agentic AI based application. So let's start. Today, I walk you through the top development frameworks for agentic AI and what they mean in practice for team building real systems. So I'm gonna feature LangGraph, OpenAI Agents SDK, Microsoft AutoGen, which is currently under maintenance because Microsoft is going forward supporting Semantic Kernel instead. So, and then the CrewAI has 50. I also included the GitHub stars. So, for example, LangGraph has 30.8 thousand GitHub stars, and also there's pointers on how to choose for each of these. So let's start for a bit. But the main takeaway is that there is no single best framework for every scenario. The right choice depends on what matters most to the team. Maybe it's orchestration control, maybe it's development speed or enterprise integration, or maybe alignment with a particular model ecosystem. At a high level, LangGraph stands out of robust, stateful orchestration. OpenAI Agents SDK stands out for a streamlined developer experience. AutoGen, Microsoft AutoGen, is strong for advanced multi-agent patterns. CrewAI is attractive for fast team-style workflows. Semantic Kernel is especially strong for enterprise and Microsoft-centric environments. So this presentation is not just a ranking, it is really a decision framework for choosing the right tool based on workflow, complexity, governance requirements, and production needs. So now let's focus on LangGraph. For LangGraph, I would position LangGraph as the strongest option for teams that need precise control over agent behavior and production system. Its core advantage is orchestration. LangGraph uses a graph-based workflow model, which make it well suited for branching logic. There will be a retry, checkpoint, state transition, and human approval steps. That becomes important when an agent is doing more a simple prompt response cycle. Another major strength is persistence and memory. LangGraph is designed around thread state and checkpointing, which helps with long-running workflows and multi-step process that need to resume reliably. From a production perspective, this makes LangGraph a strong choice for internal co-pilots, operations agents, and business workflow where reliability, traceability, and auditability matter. The trade-off is that it's more structured than lighter weight frameworks. It gives you more control, but it also expects you to design workflows deliberately. So the headline for this is you can just choose LangGraph when you need production-grade orchestration. You need durability and you need control. Okay, moving on to the next one is OpenAI Agents. OpenAI Agents SDK. This is the cleanest option for teams that want to move quickly with a modern agent stack. Its design is relatively lightweight. Instead of starting with deep graph orchestration, it focuses on agents tools. There will be handoffs and a tracing, That makes it attractive when the goal is to build useful agents quickly without introducing too much architecture and complexity upfront, just like in LangGraph. It also fits naturally for teams already using OpenAI, so it will take advantage of that. OpenAI models and APIs. The developer experience tends to be straightforward, and the abstraction is easy for product and engineering teams to be understand. In practical terms, this framework is well suited for support agents, internal assistants, workflow co-pilots, and similar applications where you want a structured tool use, and multi-agent coordination, but not necessarily a highly stateful orchestration engine. And also, there's a trade-off. The trade-off is that if workflows become deeply branched, long-lived, or operationally complex, teams may eventually want something more explicitly stateful. So the takeaway is OpenAI Agents SDK is best for fast, modern, low-friction agent development. Now let's look at AutoGen from Microsoft. AutoGen has been one of the most influential frameworks in the multi-agent space, especially for more advanced collaborative agent systems. Its main strength is flexible multi-agent interaction. It allows developers to model agents as participants in conversation or event-driven workflows, which is useful for planner-executor systems, expert agent collaboration, and more experimental architectures. This made AutoGen especially valuable for research environments and advanced prototyping, where teams wanted to explore rich coordination patterns between multiple agents. There is an important caveat. So what is that? Though AutoGen positioning has evolved, in some parts of the ecosystem now requires closer scrutiny from a roadmap and maintenance perspective. That does not make it irrelevant, but it does mean teams should evaluate it carefully before standardizing on it for long-term production use. Just like now, AutoGen is in maintenance mode, and Microsoft may be moving on the other one, which I have shown, the kernel, Semantic Kernel. So AutoGen is still a strong option for advanced prototypes and research-heavy use case, especially where multi-agent collaboration is the main design goal. The key message is AutoGen is excellent for sophisticated multi-agent interaction, but it should be chosen with awareness of lifecycle and maintenance consideration. Now for CrewAI. CrewAI is probably the most approachable framework in this comparison for teams. This is for teams that want to get a working multi-agent system quickly. Its value comes from high-level abstraction. Instead of making developers design every orchestration primitive, it organizes workflows and around crews, roles, tasks, and flows that make the model intuitive, and especially for business-oriented use cases. This is useful when you want to structure a team of agents such as researcher, analyst, reviewer, and a summarizer, all collaborating toward a shared outcome. CrewAI is a strong fit for startups, product teams, and maybe internal innovation groups that want visible progress quickly and do not want to build workflow mechanics from scratch. The trade-off is that higher level abstraction can reduce low-level control. So because it's high level, the control will be reduced. If the workflow becomes deeply stateful or highly customized, some teams may prefer a framework with more explicit orchestration primitives. So, the summary is CrewAI is best for fast development of team-style agent workflows with minimal setup. So the last one framework is Semantic Kernel. Semantic Kernel stands out as the most enterprise-oriented framework on this comparison. Its strengths are integration, extensibility, and fit with enterprise software architecture. It supports structured plugins, planners, connectors, and agent patterns in a way that it aligns with large organization. Another important advantage is language support. Compared with several frameworks that are heavily Python-centered, Semantic Kernel has broader support across enterprise-friendly environments. Of course, the trade-off is that it can feel more like enterprise SDK than a lightweight experimentation framework for some organization. That is exactly what they want. For others, it can feel heavier than necessary. So the headline here is Semantic Kernel is the best fit for enterprise integration, governed environments, and Microsoft-aligned technology stacks. So if your company have a pool of developers using Visual Studio, that kind of environment fits with Semantic Kernel. For conclusion, and we had a decision guide here. To close, decision should be driven by operating model rather than hype. If the priority is control, resilience, stateful orchestration, that's LangGraph. LangGraph is your path here, your strongest choice. If the priority is speed and simplicity and a clean OpenAI native developer experience, of course OpenAI Agents SDK is likely the best fit. If the team is focused on advanced multi-agent experimentation, AutoGen remains important, but it should be evaluated carefully from a roadmap perspective or for a long-term purpose. If the goal is rapid development of team-style workflows, CrewAI is the most accessible path. And if the environment is enterprise-heavy, integration-focused, and aligned with Microsoft technologies, Semantic Kernel is the best choice. The broader point is that agentic AI development is maturing. The framework decision increasingly looks like a software architecture decision, not a model decision. Teams that treat this framework as orchestration platforms rather than prompt wrappers will be in a much stronger position to move from prototype to production. So, the final recommendation is to choose based on workflow complexity, governance requirements, and how the framework fits the operating environment of the team. I hope this helps. Thank you.